Hi everybody, my name is Luis Vargas, and in this occasion I'm gonna show you a project that I made. This is a library that I created, and I'm gonna show you how to use this library. This library is basically a library that converts JSON to objects and objects to JSON, and it was originally a fork from DSON. Basically, what we need to do to use this library is just create a new project and begin to use it. So I'm just gonna create a new project. Then I'm gonna select Dart, and then I should select a static. I could select a Uber web page, so Uber simple web page. Next, and then I'm just need to select the name of the project. In this case, I'm gonna put it something like DSON sample. DSON sample. Yes. After creating the project, it appears a windows like this one, and you can see that this project only contains 3 files: the spec YAML, the index.html, the main.dart, and also the style CSS. And later on, the packages and the pop and the get ignore and all the other stuff is get added also. So I'm just gonna debug this project to see it working, to see it in action. And this project is a basic project, so it only contains one simple line. And it says your Dart app is running. This comes from here. Where you put this on sample the title, and it doesn't have, and this has the output, and inside the Dart package has something, the query selector, and then it selects the output and then change the text of the output, and then it puts Dart is up and running. So what I'm gonna do now is use DSON to get a JSON, to convert an object to JSON, and then just show the value of the JSON in this text. To do that, I'm just gonna follow the first sample, and the first sample is this one. So I'm just need to import the DSON, and also to do this, I'm just gonna copy this project almost completely, and then I'm gonna paste it here, and then I need to delete those 2 lines to make this project work. And as you can see, I have this little error: the function JSON is not defined. This is because we haven't added the spec YAML, the dependency to the spec YAML. So I'm just gonna add it doing a simple DSON column any, and this should get me the latest dependency. And here are the other dependencies needed for DSON. So the latest one is 3.2. Let's see if that's the one that it's in the, and yes, is the latest one. You see, version 3.032. Okay, so now the main.dart shouldn't show us the error. Now I'm just gonna run this project, and it should print in the console the JSON string, and also should show in the your Dart app is running. Instead, I'm gonna put the JSON string. So it should show us into the view, into the HTML, the code. So let's stop and run. Stop and run. It says this one: reflectable has not been initialized. Did you forget the main file? This is because in the spec YAML we should also add the transformer for reflectable. So we should say reflectable, and then we should say entry points column, and then in here we should say entry points web / main.dart, and this is a list, so we need to pass the dash. So get dependencies again, and it says this: the reflectable library has not been added. Oh, the transformer cannot be run because the reflectable library is not being added. So this is easy, just reflectable any, and it should bring us the latest one also. What? Reflectable. Nothing. Reflectable. Okay, the problem is here. I'm just gonna remove this one just to show you that it wouldn't work. And it says the reflectable is not a dependency, so you need in here make reflectable a dependency. Then the reflectable runs this transformer, and now that is only the first time, but it runs every time that put surf begins. So every time that put surf begin, the reflectable is gonna be run. So I'm just gonna stop and run again. And as you can see, it says loading sources, loading Dart2JS, and also it says serving DSON sample. It doesn't say that the reflectable is loading. I think there is a flag for that, but I don't know what it is. And as you can see now, the JSON is shown. So converting from objects to JSON is very easy. Just add it to JSON and you get an object. So let's do something else. Let's convert the JSON string into an object again. So this one is gonna be the object, and let's call this one person or person1, and let's do something. Let's clone that person. So I'm gonna say person, and then I'm gonna say person1 clone, just person clone equals to JSON string. Instead of using to JSON, I'm gonna use from JSON string, and I need to pass another parameter. We can see the parameter, and the second parameter is the type. So the type is person. Later, let's say that I want to print the first name of the person clone. So I'm gonna do something similar to this one, and I'm gonna do query selector. I'm just gonna print in console, print person name, person1, person clone name dot first name, and this one should work. So let's stop and run again, and it says there is an error. Okay, so what is happening this one? Because we haven't annotated, do we? Yeah, we haven't. What is this error? That's weird. Let me guess. Let's put a breakpoint here to see what happens. Okay. Okay. Let's see the dependencies in the terminal. DSON reflectable 054 is the last one. Could it be possible the version? Let me pause. Okay, so it looks that the problem is caused because of this variable and because of this dynamic type. And right now it looks that the DSON doesn't support this. I should correct that error because it should be supported. And the solution is simple. Let's put it by the moment just a string, and just remember that this is a bug that is going to be corrected in the next version. So let's stop and run again to see if it works now. Oh, so I put some breakpoints, sorry for that. Okay, so now it's working because now we have the person clone and we have the instance of persons, and we can see all the variables from person clone. And if we see in here, we have also different variables with different values in here, and there is nothing that tells us that it's a different object. Oh, never mind. So now we can print in console the value of person. So let's go to the console and we're gonna see now John. We can print also the last name. So I'm just gonna stop and run again. I'm just gonna remove this breakpoint, and now in console we have John Doe, and this is coming from, remember, the string JSON, the JSON string. So further than that error, we have another error in DSON that it's caused in this case is because the reflectable library is not being finalized. If you have, for example, let's say you have an class address, and this class has an ID, and also it has let's say a street, is a string street. Let's add one more, and in this case gonna be another string for the zip code. So let's say that a person has many addresses, so in that case we should put a list of addresses. So in this case, for example, in this one, I'm just gonna say that the person, let's just add it, addresses is gonna be equals to an array, and in this case it's gonna be an array of addresses. So I'm just gonna create a new address, and this address is gonna contain an ID, and it says equals to this one is gonna be the street. It's gonna be 123 street, Let's add the zip code. It's gonna be 1 2 3 4 5. It's gonna be number. And we forget one equals in here. And now it should show us, it should print correctly the list of addresses. Look at this one. So let's stop and run. Address mark type instance mirror implementation. So this is caused because we haven't added the serializable to the address. Okay, let's stop and run again. And now here we have the addresses. So in here we have the addresses, and as you can see, this is a list, and inside the list is another object, and then together. So finally we can also do print person clone dot addresses to see what happens in here, if it works correctly, and it does. However, there is a small problem. As you can see in here, it looks like a map, and it shouldn't look like a map. It should look like an object. It should print instead of address instead of the map. For example, if I try to do this person address 0 dot street, this one is gonna throw me an error because this one is a map, and this is the error that I'm talking about. So this one is the error. Exception time internal link has not get a street. This is because addresses is still an object. The only workaround that I have right now is just adding this one, person clone. Let me see. Yes, person clone dot addresses equals to person clone person clone map, and then I'm gonna say address. Oops, no address. Address in lowercase, and this one should be mapped to from JSON, from another JSON, and in this case it's gonna be address, and this one is gonna be JSON string. Sorry, address type. This shouldn't be done, and this is not needed to be done in a server-side version to list. What happens here? Oops, it's not person clone. Person clone dot addresses dot map dot whatever dot to list. So this one should print the address street correctly. So let's see if it works, and it doesn't. No. Oh yeah, because this one is not a string, it should be from map. Sorry, because we're converting now a map because it's already a map. And now, as you can see, it has the 1 2 3 4 street. I know that this one shouldn't be done in this way, but it's maybe right now is the only workaround that I have. I have another idea, but I don't know if it's gonna be a good idea. And the other idea that I have is just adding an annotation called add type, maybe add deserialize type or DSON type, and then address in here. In this way, maybe I can get the address in the deserialization time, because at the moment reflectable deletes the type. How do I know that it does that? Because okay, first because the error that you saw before, and also because in the documentation it says that it does that. Where is the documentation? I don't remember exactly, but let's look. So let's go to reflectable. So external libraries, their packages. Let's look for reflectable. Let's look for transformer. No, search transformer implementation. Something like type or something. I don't remember. Radar. Set. I think it's that one. Okay. Reusable dart type, and it says that the dart types right now becomes dart types at erase, and they becomes at least most likely in the future this is gonna change, but right now it's not this is the way that it's been done. So I don't know exactly what should I do. So the only idea that I have right now is just adding this annotation, and maybe in the future make this annotation what's the name, deprecated. And as you can I want to also show you that this one worked perfectly into the. I'm just gonna copy this test. By the way, I removed the code from main and I put it inside test just for debugging, but it still work. It should work inside here. But as a rule of thumb, main in web applications should only contains maybe one function. It never contains more than one function, only the initializing function. So I'm just gonna copy this test.dar and I'm just gonna put it into a bin folder, new folder, new directory. I'm just gonna say bin, and then I'm just gonna paste in here. The only difference that I'm gonna do is just instead of this one, I'm just gonna call it main, and in that way I can run this application also. So what did I do? It's been called person.java. Oh, that's crazy. Refactor name, and it's gonna be called test or main.dat, and this one should only. I'm just gonna close all the others. I'm gonna run this one. Why it doesn't appear in here? That's weird. Let's just add a new run from here. New that command line app. I'm gonna call it main. Main check mode. It doesn't show the load. Apply. Okay, and let's try it. And I should remove the import.html. That's true. Maybe that's why it didn't show before. I don't know. And we have a beautiful error, and address is not a subtype of type map of data object. On here, this is the error, and this line is not needed into the server side. So as you can see, the server side doesn't need this line because server side works perfectly. You see the 123 street, John Doe, whatever, and in server side everything works perfectly. Basically, the main advantage that has over DSON is the cyclical objects and also the depth. Because for example, in many cases in many cases, for example, in a relation like this one, person address is not in only one way. Like in this case, you can also say that an address has an owner. So you can say person, or even an address has many owners. But let's just put one too many. So an address has one person. So in that case, we can say in here that the person address, let's see, person addresses 1 0 dot owner or person equals to person 1. This object is gonna work correctly, and let's see what's gonna be printed when you do a to JSON. And we have a beautiful error, and this error says what it says: unhandled exception, stack overflow. This is caused because it's a cyclical dependency. So to solve this problem, in that, what I did was just add the annotation at cyclical, and then when I run this one, it just works perfectly. So what happens in here, why it doesn't print the address, is because the address is not being serialized the first time, as you can see in here, and the address only has the ID, like in this case. So to solve this problem, the easiest way is just adding instead of just to JSON, just add a def, and then here I'm just gonna say addresses. Having done this, this is telling that further than serializing the person object, I want to also serialize inside the graph, the person graph, the addresses attribute. So this one should be longer. Let's see, and as you can see, it works. It is longer, and now it has all the entire address. And as you can see in here, the addresses, let's see, address has another has one person ID that is already there. It's already the one that we just yeah, it's the one that we just saw before. This is cyclical, and in here it has the person, the street now, because now we have the person, clone, address, and street. So what about if I delete this one and I put something that is different from addresses? Maybe just with a 1s, it's not gonna work. You see, the address is not deserialized. So I hope you like this video. Let's see, I remember that it does something else, but I don't know exactly what it was. Utilizing cyclical objects. Let's try this example. This is a little bit bigger, to see if it works. And as you can see in here, what I'm saying in here, this one is easier because it's a one-to-one relationship. You know, an employee has one address, and one address has one employee, one owner. And as you can see in here, employee manager, and also an employee has one manager And a manager should have many employees, no? No, it's not needed. I didn't do that. So in here this one works perfectly. And let's use this one in the other application, in the web application. Oh no, in test, sorry. The only difference is that this one is gonna be called test. So running the web application should show us something cool. Serialization works perfectly. The only thing that doesn't work is the serialization, and it works but it's not complete. So I hope you like this video. I'm gonna do something, but I don't know if that is the correct answer, and maybe I'm gonna redo this video later. So I hope you like it. Thank you.